Yeah. You gotta work. You gotta work, grind, shine, it's mine. Gotta show everybody it's my time. Getting here, you gotta work, grind, shine. Never mind who talking down, cause they lie.
Welcome to Let's Talk with Carl Lee. Join Carl alongside frequent co-hosts Lisa Otey and Hollis Lewis as they explore dynamic conversations with guests from all walks of life. Let's Talk is proudly brought to you by attorney Frank Walker. Real talk, real experience, real results. Visit frankwalkerlaw.com. The conversation starts now. This is Let's Talk.
Did he say he's going to give us a countdown, didn't he?
I think he said you give him the sign. You ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Lisa,
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
All right. Coop just gave me a thumbs up, so.
All
right, here we go. All right, ladies and gentlemen, this is Carl Lee, and I have my crew still in the, well, I won't say I have them all in the building. Yeah. Hollis Lewis is in the building, and
what's up?
And the football queen, Lisa Otey, she is by phone. How you doing, Lisa?
Good. How are you guys?
I'm doing okay.
Doing
so,
well.
Just so you know, I don't know if you could hear it when we were talking. I had made a comment about I was going to start with something, and Hollis overruled me. So as a politician, he wants to open. We
got to start with the hottest story in the sports world right now.
And what is tell us what that story is, so we'll just jump right into it.
I'm gonna try to make it sound dramatic. In the dead of night, the Dallas Mavericks have moved possibly one of the maybe top 3 NBA players, Luka Dončić, by trade to the Los Angeles Lakers for basically AD, a 1-to-1. This is sort of unprecedented, at least in modern NBA, because most superstars, they normally demand the trade. There's a whole bunch of friction leading up, and then this drama played out similar to what's going on in Miami and with Jimmy Butler. However, this is even more unprecedented than that because, again, you have Luka Dončić, 25 years old, not even just approaching his peakness, a 5-time first-team NBA player, a 28-point-a-game average player. They were in the NBA Finals last year, and they basically moved him for, again, AD's a great player,
right?
But normally a guy like that, you're getting a king's ransom.
What shocked me was there were no drafts. There was no draft picks.
Well, it was one in the future. It was just ancillary.
How far back? Like next year?
I think it's, at least you can correct me if I'm wrong, I want to say 20. It might be 26. I want to say 28 though. I don't believe it's in the next coming.
See, I'm thinking.
Class.
I would think that you'd want to get something like in the next draft,
Yeah.
But okay, I'm before Lisa because I know Lisa's going to have a whole lot of information to probably come at this in a different way. I'm gonna go kind of rogue on this and say, here's my issue with this. I don't understand the players in the mix. One, personally, to me, LeBron, as many games as LeBron has won, as many titles and things that he is the best ever or has his statistical numbers are as great as anybody ever, right? And again,
for sure.
And because he has played so long, which again speaks to the physicality of what he does in the offseason to maintain that kind of status to play at the highest level and be one of the greatest players ever. But one of the things that I just don't care, and I just feel this is just how I feel about him. Everywhere he goes, he ends up being some part of an issue, or there's an expectation of bringing players in. And I know that you're saying that nobody knew this. This was all in the dark. This just came up. But everywhere he goes, it's like he has to bring a championship team with him. And that's just my take. And again, I cannot consider myself an expert on this, but this is how I feel and how I how I see it. Y'all can try to change me in that.
No.
But I don't know how deep you can go to change it.
LeBron found out about this over dinner. Am I not correct?
You are correct.
Like Lakers general manager, I think his name is Rob Pelinka, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep, you're correct.
He didn't even consult with him. Like, this was a totally quiet trade, and it had to be that way. They wanted to keep it under wraps because they didn't want to involve, the agent for Luka. They didn't want to involve, the trade, having that leverage part. And then they knew the fan backlash from the Mavericks. I mean, they're not happy. They're not happy in Dallas.
But I guess my point, and again, I understand what you're saying, Coach Lee, but the story is, again, why does an organization who has been relatively successful with said player who's been successful, we haven't necessarily heard any disparaging things about him off the court. We've heard issues like maybe he's not in the best of shape.
Right.
He does like the whining thing to the ref, which is kind of normal in modern NBA. So my question is, again, and I've looked at it, I'm thinking two things are at play here. Number one, he was eligible for the max deal. So essentially, if he played for the Dallas Mavericks around September, October this year, he would have was tantamount to about a $300 to maybe $400 million deal. We're talking 80 million per year over the life of a contract. So maybe the owners didn't want to pay that.
That's possible.
And again, and that may be the reason. But at the same token, I'm thinking, okay, you don't want to pay that. Fine. And I think Luka Dončić had the potential to bring you multiple championships. He's an international superstar. Remember, he's a foreign-born player.
Yeah.
And if it's not that, pitting that aside, they have to know something that we just don't know. Is it a lingering injury that nobody knows about? Is there some allegations that's going to come out in the next year or two? Because this is not the normal modus operandi to trade a 25-year-old top 3, top 5 NBA player.
Yeah, MVP. I mean, he's. I don't know. I mean, I think it's weird. I think you're probably on the right trail when you're talking about the money issue. They're trying to veil it, though, with, the conditioning and the weight gains. The organization was upset with that. And then they're also saying, I've heard, I've seen on the internet, head coach Jason Kidd, he's touching on what you just said, Hollis, he's frequently expressed concerns about his arguing with officials.
Yeah, that's
not enough.
That is definitely not enough.
Yeah, that can be remedied, right?
Yes.
Right. So I don't understand it. I know it was a quiet trade, and I think Nico Harrison and then the Lakers general manager Pelinka, I think they've had a relationship in the past with trades, though, correct?
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah, and they've done it in a manner. Tried to do it in a similar manner, and they got busted. And I can't remember what the trade was.
Was that the Chris Paul deal, maybe?
Yeah.
Was that deal? Yeah.
That's it. Thank you. But this time they pulled it off, and they pulled it off well. No one had any idea.
And it leads me to believe that I just, outside of the money, it leads me to believe that something must have been going on. Something it's transpired that we're not made available to, because, again, you pit Luka Dončić on the open market, you will get a king's ransom. Not only you get players, yes, you're going to get draft picks. I mean, I think a team, you take a team, I don't know, you take a team like Miami maybe, or a team like Charlotte or someone like that. I think they would probably leverage their immediate future for a guy like Luka. I mean, you could have got draft picks. You could have got cash options. You could have got players. And basically what you just did, like Lisa mentioned, this quiet trade in the night, you basically just swapped AD for Luka. AD is 6 years older. He's injury prone. He doesn't play a similar style of Luka like Luka plays. So it's just, I think, just my personal opinion, they know something that they're not releasing to the public.
So what could that actually be? And to your point, I think if there's a lingering or a potential injury that we haven't heard about, that he's playing through, that nobody's talked about, okay, I'm not even sure yet if that would be justifiable.
Yeah, because you got to take the physical.
Yeah.
So they would probably find out that, right?
Yeah. Because so if it's so bad that you want to let him go, why am I going to take him?
Yeah. I mean, you're right about that.
Wouldn't you think if it was, excuse me, some type of a serious injury, though, it would have affected his style of play already this season? Like, you can't predict.
Exactly.
I don't have ball. So, I mean, you know.
And I mean, I don't. And I'm reaching, so don't get it
right.
I'm just trying to figure. Like,
and
it has to be something.
And to your reach,
yeah.
When you start talking about a player who's not always in shape, you know, maybe 6, 7, 8, 10 pounds over what we want.
30. He's 30.
30 over. Yeah. 30 over. What becomes what you question is his dedication to the game. But what is his performance week in and week out, and game in, game out?
You're 28 points a game. Again, he doesn't play much D. If you've seen his defensive highlights or lack thereof, that ain't his game.
I'm not sure there's a whole lot of none of the superstars really necessarily are playing a lot of defense at this point.
And then even if you take the in shape comments, well, I mean, this guy, y'all went to the Western Conference Finals. You went to the NBA championship. Right. You know, he's not a player that misses a whole bunch of games. He's not like a Kawhi Leonard where he's just missing game after game after game. This is a guy who, you know, is going to play regularly and he's successful in his play. So again, it just leads me to believe, and again, I could be wrong and it could just be a simply economic, a financial decision, but I just think something else is at play here.
I think if it's anything, it would have to be a hidden injury somewhere, a potential, or it's just a matter of fact of we don't want to do the money.
From what I saw today on the internet, guys, he wasn't very happy in Dallas. I mean, I don't think he was happy. He had made some comments about management, like I think they had replaced some people on the staff, and he had made like a statement like, "Well, they get rid of everybody I like down here." Like he was not as content as people think he was, and probably maybe didn't like put it out there, you know, like some of the players do, that I'm not happy here. You know, maybe that's just not his style of play. But you know, I mean, I'm like you guys. Something's going on.
So do you think Dallas just made a preemptive strike, realizing that maybe they were going to lose him in the next few years?
I mean, that's a good theory. That's a good theory. That would come second behind the money. I really feel like it's the money. But to me, I don't think it was all roses and unicorns in Dallas for him. I don't think he was as happy because maybe his personality, he just didn't put it out there like some of those other players do.
But do you risk in this deal? And more so, I think this happens more so in basketball than maybe football. How does this affect the fan base, your hometown fan base?
Oh, they're not.
Man. But the thing is, and I would guess that they're probably not happy if you're a Mags fan. But at the same time, you do got AD. So it ain't like you just lost Luka Dončić and ain't getting nothing. I mean, you do have another All-Star. You do have another a champion. Yeah. So
he's not as young. He doesn't have as many.
You're right. But he's 31.
So could we make the case that this might have been a trade for a championship?
No, I can't.
you know?
I don't. I believe, again, conspiracy theories to the side, I believe this was probably just a money saver. Because, I mean, if I could go with that. If Luka signs what is tantamount to the max contract with the Lakers, I believe he'll lose approximately like $120 million. So the max contract he'll end up getting, or he'll be available for him to sign with the Lakers or whoever he goes to if he doesn't stay with the Lakers, was going to be about $120 million less. So again, $300 million, we can give that up, or we can just take a quote unquote lesser player.
Well, and it could be a combination of all those things. You know, it could be a of the money, the fact that he wasn't happy, the fact that Jason Kidd had some concerns. I mean, it was probably just a perfect storm of all these different factors playing in to trade him to the Lakers.
But let me ask you this. So, again, In the NBA in particular, do you think this move sets a new precedent that NBA teams and ownership is taking back control of the reins? Because NBA has been one, big organization where the players, as of late, particularly in the LeBron James era, the players have had the power. The players have had control. Not only can players demand, trades, but they can also even demand trades who is to where they want to go, and they do this publicly. So do you think like this sets sort of a new tone? Oh,
I think it sends a clear message. I think it sends a clear message that we're in control, we have the money, and we're going to do what we want to do, and we don't have to involve you players. I think that's totally the message sent.
Okay, so with Luka and his, let's say, his personality, his willingness to, and or his inability to be, quote, in top shape, and his ability to be able to speak openly and whatever, right? Right. So now, because when you start talking about that change, the guys who are going to be hit by that are going to be your top players. Those top players who are the best, who maybe they don't practice hard enough, they talk too much, they say the wrong things in the media. Those are that bad apple that you want to get rid of. How many teams can afford to actually leave that guy, get rid of that guy, and go somewhere and get something for it? Because I think Luka's a good take, but I'm going to make the case everybody's not going to be a good take.
But I guess if
that's how it happened.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that's why this is just so surprising to me. Because again, last week we talked about Jimmy Butler from Miami. Right. Mm-hmm. And he's not what I would call like on those top tier players, right? He's not in that class of player. He might be second tier, third tier, far as if we have a hierarchy of NBA players. And I could see a move to somebody like that. But when you have like what some consider Luka Dončić as a generational talent, the best player in his class, with guys like Ja Morant, those, and Melo and Melo Ball and everybody in that similar age. And this is the move. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like I expect that from like a third tier, second tier player, but he's a top tier player. And you just basically just sent him off for it. I'm not saying nothing because AD is something, but you could have really, as I said before, got a king's ransom for him on the open market. So I'm confused by it.
Yeah, like you, it was almost like it was, we want to get rid of him.
Yeah.
And that we'll just swap out and call it even.
That's pretty much what happened. I mean, they got some other players, but there's, those are ancillary players. They might get cut next week.
Right.
Who knows?
Right. Well.
And I think all the sports news outlets are baffled. Like, it was just nobody saw that coming. Nobody. And
again, you know how that is. Everybody talks, right? And everybody was super surprised. So to me, I'm telling you, I'm going back. I'm gonna put my tinfoil kufi on and my tinfoil hat, and I'm saying I'm a conspiracy theory, and something is going on.
Yeah. I don't know. I think like I said, you could be right, Hollis. It's a good thing to put out there, a good theory. But I really feel like, I don't know. I just think these general managers maybe are putting a message out there to the players. We're the ones that have the money. We are in charge.
I'm kind of like, I'm with that too.
I mean, because that's true.
Because I just feel like basketball is to me, I think it's growing. And the salaries are going up and up and up and up without no hesitation. Hundreds and hundreds of millions of dollars to practically everybody, right?
And with basketball guys, they can play now for 15, 20. LeBron is in year 21, 22, and he's a top 10 player right now.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Steph Curry still going strong. So now with the conditioning and how they take care of their body and, science and all the things, guys are playing longer. So it might, you guys could be right. It could have been a move like, look, man, we're not playing that no more. We're done doing that. And if you ain't won a championship in the last 7 years, you ain't going to win one by.
Right.
We'll start over.
Because the question is, how long can he? And because How long can LeBron be the reason why we win the championship? Yeah. There's the question. He's a great player. And we can add people around him, and that even makes him better. But having him on his own, can he take you there?
I mean, nobody's taking you there on your own. Not in the NBA. Nobody. Nobody. Nobody's taking you on your own.
But my question. Okay, so let me pose it more as a question. That with LeBron and let's say any other team, they know that you've got to have at least 2 legitimate players.
Yeah.
I'm not 100% sure that LeBron and that other superstar, I don't know if they work together.
Well, it's exactly. Thank you. I'm just going to put that out there. This is a risk. I mean, it really is a risk. Again,
to who?
Well, I mean, it's
to the Lakers.
The Lakers face.
No.
Know about it. And
I'm with you, Lisa. I keep talking because I'm right there with you.
Well, I mean, we know how egos are in the NBA.
Yep.
And this might be bruised right now. He feels like he's the face of the Lakers, which he is to a degree now, And now they bring in this other superstar who, rivals his name. I mean, we can't be sure whether they're going to gel on the court or whether they even have the right chemistry. I mean, it could be. I'm not saying it probably will be. It probably will be a good move, but it could be a disaster. I mean, I'm going to put that out there.
I mean, I see where you're going with that, but I think at the best, LeBron maybe has 2 more seasons left, and I think for the Lakers, this was a play on their future. And again, even to that point,
I mean, who wouldn't do it?
Yeah, even to that point, it's like just kind of going back for a minute. I mean, why even just make the trade to the Lakers? Why is it just the destination? Why is it just like, okay, in the dead of night, we're just going to we're going to trade you to the premier franchise. Everything about this. I mean, again, I'm a Laker fan, so I'm happy he's with us, but it just stinks to how like something to me is going on.
I could even make a case that the Lakers are saying, like, where are we going next? Who's going to be our guy? Because at some point, LeBron is not,
some point soon.
Yes, he's gonna be less the player than what he is still now. We need a face. We need somebody who can play. We need somebody who's, I'm going to say, LeBron-like. Okay.
Yeah.
And so let's get him already in the house already. So, but
it is. I mean, it's just weird that they did this. I mean, how did they even start the conversation? I mean, it's like,
that's what I'm wondering.
Our best player, you want an MVP contender? I mean, and they only involved them.
This is going to be like 20, maybe 15, maybe even 10 years from now, maybe 5 the way media goes. It's going to be like a 30 for 30 on this. It's going to be like a Netflix like documentary on this whole thing, and then we're going to be able to find out all the the nuances of it.
But see, I don't think it'll take that long. I think because people talk now.
Yeah.
People get to the media, people
but
call.
But that's the thing, though.
And so
nobody talked when this deal is going, when it's happening.
But I'm not, okay, so let's say, I'm not going to say it until it happened, right?
But people never do that now.
But now it happened, and it's big news, and everybody's talking about it. I'm going to ESPN and whisper to somebody and say, this is what they were saying.
This is the why?
This is the why.
Yeah.
And again, the why could be they're looking at LeBron being gone. That may be, that very well could be the possibility. And because let me ask this question to both of you.
Yeah.
If let's say they totally was going to give LeBron the total respect that he probably thought and thinks he deserves, and maybe other people may think he deserves. Sit him down and said, "Hey, this is our plan." What's LeBron say? Does he say yes or no? Is he willing to make that player trade? Basically 1 for 1. Because he ain't going to be, those draft picks, he ain't going to be part of that. He ain't going to be, he may not even be there when at that point. Do you think LeBron is okay?
That's what I'm saying. I don't think they talked to LeBron.
That's what I'm saying. But I'm just saying, I'm asking the question, if they would have brought LeBron in, sit him down, ask him the question, and say, hey, what about taking Luka? What do you think about the trade for him?
That's actually a good question.
It is.
I think he would have been for it. And that's with the caveat that him and AD are boys and they've had a great working relationship and they won a championship. I think that's a good question because the Lakers are actually playing good right now. We're in contention to possibly be the number one contender in the Western Conference. So things are going well for the Lakers right now. So I don't know because he's not necessarily considering the future of the franchise. So just to shake up things for the sake of shaking it up, I probably think he would have probably been against it. Honestly,
you think so?
I think so.
I'm going to take a different angle. I'm going to look at it this way because I feel like if they would have involved LeBron a little more with him knowing what was coming down the pipe with Luka, that maybe – I'm not saying – I don't know how he's reacted to this. Obviously no one knows yet. But I'm just wondering if he would have felt more involved in getting him there, that maybe he would be more a little open and receptive. Maybe I'm totally off base, but I just feel like a lot of these guys in the NBA, it's all about them all the time, and it's hard to bring in another superstar, especially if you haven't been told they're coming. To me, that could be a really bitter pill to swallow for LeBron.
Well, let me just say, let me just use an example. Quote, back in the day, there was no reason for me to as ownership, general manager, all of that. I don't need, and you as my player, Hollis, I don't need to talk to you about the trade. I don't need to talk to you about what I'm about to do. Okay,
hello, Carl.
So
it's not the way of the world.
Well, I'm just saying.
Okay.
The trade that got us Herschel Walker. Okay? Mm-hmm. There's nobody on our football team prior to that any management coach could ask us and say, are you willing? What do you think about a Herschel Walker trade? David Howard, Chris Martin, all these guys, Isaac Holt, all these guys who are playing, who are starters, who are part of a number one defense. Nobody's going to be okay with that. So you're doing this behind the back of the strategy and or what players see. We were looking and thinking, man, we just went to the NFC Championship game. We lost. We'll be back. Da-da-da-da. And he's sitting in his office and he's thinking, all we need is a guy like Herschel Walker. And then Dallas says, okay, we'll give him to you for this and a whole host of draft picks that they traded for people.
And they won 3 Super Bowls.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
They literally took the Herschel Walker draft. I was thinking about that after the conversation last week. The draft picks y'all gave up, they actually won the Super Bowl with those players.
Yes. So, You know what I'm saying? So, and making the point that players don't always get that opportunity. Let's say back in the day, they didn't get it. And nobody's caring about what you think. That general manager's up there, he's cutting a deal.
Yeah, and I think LeBron's there. It's over for LeBron. I think him getting Bronny, him getting JJ Redick, that's it for that. That's your last hurrah as far as constructing teams. You got 1, 2, maybe 3 more years left playing at a high level. Them days of you getting to choose the team and we consulting with you, them days are over for LeBron. You're a guy now.
So is that because of do you think that is part of what the deal was to show you that you don't have any control?
I don't think this had anything to do with LeBron. This has nothing to do with LeBron in my book.
Okay.
This, far as the Lakers are concerned, hell, you was presented an opportunity and you took it. That's it. It's like somebody giving you free money. Yeah, I'm going to take that. I'll take it. That's what it sounds like.
Right.
It sounds like, again,
that's valid.
Yeah, we're just going to this is the deal we got. It's in front of our face. We ain't going to pass this opportunity. What you need from us. But again, the interesting side is the Dallas side. why did you do this? And I can't wait to find out that part.
Yeah, because you're talking about trying to get something back.
I mean, you got AD.
I mean, and
I'm just amazed that they pulled it off, guys, without any leak.
Any leak.
Like, I mean, even what I read an article today, I read some article on the internet about it, and it said that Rob Pelinka actually flew to Dallas and met Nico Harrison in person at some coffee shop. Did nobody see them? I mean, come on.
But do you think people would even if they saw him? Do you think people would even get a hint of that?
At least Nico. I mean, he's there. He's part of the Mavs community, right? So I mean, somebody would have recognized him. I don't know. It's all strange. It's a strange thing. It's all strange.
Facts. It really is.
Mm. Mm-hmm. Well, let's take a quick break and then we'll be right back.
Let's face it, bad things happen to good people. Seriously injured in a car accident, trucking accident, or even wrongfully arrested. Life happens, and when it happens to you, you will need sound legal advice and aggressive representation. That's when you call attorney Frank Walker at 304-413-0179. That's 304-413-0179. Lock it in your phone, text it to a friend. 304-413-0179. Or visit online at attorneyfrankwalker.com.
Hey, this is Jeff Tweedy. I'll be in Charleston on April 12th to induct one of my favorite songwriters, Daniel Johnston, into the West Virginia Music Hall of Fame and to perform a few of my favorite songs that he wrote. I hope you'll join us at the Culture Center Theater for the event. For tickets and info, visit wvmusichallofame.com or call 304-342-4412.
Let's Talk with Carl Lee is proudly presented by attorney Frank Walker. Visit frankwalkerlaw.com. Share your thoughts, ask questions, or suggest topics on our Facebook page. Just search for Let's Talk with Carl Lee. And don't forget to like the page to join the conversation. Catch past episodes anytime at WCHSnetwork.com/Let's Talk. And tune in Thursday nights at 7 or Sunday evenings at 8 for Let's Talk with Carl Lee. Now, back to the conversation.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back, and we are getting ready to lose the football queen. She is out of town and has dinner arrangements, and she didn't include Hollis and myself, so we won't have anything to eat.
I'll bring you leftovers next week.
Okay, all right, I'll take that. So we're gonna go ahead and take our Super Bowl picks.
Yeah.
Before you get out of there, and let's see. So I'm going to start it just because I'm going to kind of explain why. I like Kansas City. I like Mahomes. I like the defense there. I like it all, right? But I have a tendency to not like dynasties. People who keep winning over and over and over. And I think a lot of people have it, whether or not they know it or not. You know, people who rooted for Kansas City before and they won the championship. And now now they're going into their third opportunity to win. Now they're like, I don't really like them. I'm unfortunately, I am in that group of people. Right. So I've got to go to for Philly, man. I got to go for Philly.
Lisa, who you got?
Oh, my gosh. Well, I mean, I thought about, I've gone back and forth because I really don't. I definitely have Chiefs fatigue. Just like Carl just said, I'm over it. I'm over Mahomes. I'm over it. But you know what? I think the bottom line is it's going to come to coaching and whether the Eagles can strategically be able to predict what Andy Reid has in store. I mean, he's elevated Mahomes' play with all strategies. And I want the Eagles to win. I really like Hurts. I like the whole storyline, with the running back. But I really feel like they're going to do it. It's going to be a three-peat.
All right, so you got the Chiefs.
I got the Chiefs.
Okay. So again, my heart is with Philly.
Me too.
But my mind
is
telling me the Chiefs is going to do it again. And I just don't think that Mahomes can be stopped. I don't think that you can put a defense out there that's going to adequately stop what he's doing. I think he doesn't have like the best receivers in the game. I think actually Philly has, as far as offensively, they have better weapons all around. But I think he has adequate. I mean, I'm thinking back to the Super Bowl he lost with the Rams where, nobody could catch a football. It's not like that this year with them teams. I mean, they've got pretty short-handed receivers who can get open, who are fast and quick, and he has an offensive line that can give him the adequate time he needs to assess what's going on downfield to deliver the ball. So, I mean, again, nobody's proven to stop that this season. We know that, the ref loved the Chiefs.
There you go. Why did you didn't even have to bring that up?
Oh, that's part of it. Taylor Swift going to be there. Caitlin Clark going to be there. So, I mean, again, my heart is with Philly. I want Philly to win. I'm rooting for Philly, but I think the Chiefs is probably going to, pull off history.
I think this is going to be a defensive game, regardless of how much they score. Okay?
Yeah.
I think it's going to be a defensive game, and I think obviously maybe the quarterback who plays the best in this game is going to win this game.
See, I don't think so. I think because again, I think Jalen Hurts can play great, but if you stop Saquon Barkley, because Jalen Hurts not set up to throw 40 times a game.
No, but again,
it's going to come down to defenses and mistakes, guys.
Yeah.
I mean, basically, whichever defense can stop the other star players on the offense, and whoever doesn't turn the ball over.
Running the football will forever be the motive of winning football games.
Yeah, particularly in deep playoff runs. Yeah.
Because what happens is, and when you're running the football and you're getting first downs, that's different than trying to throw the ball and keep getting first downs because you just can't do that. Everybody can't just do that. But if you can control the football and if they can keep the Chiefs defense out on the field, but they're going to wear them down. That in turn gives Jalen Hurts way better opportunities because he's going to get more than what's going to happen for Mahomes. He's not going to get out on he's not going to be out on the field enough. That's my thought. I'm thinking if they come in and run.
I hope you're right.
I think if they can run the ball, which I don't think defensive backs are really very good at being out there trying to actually make tackles.
I would agree with that.
And you're talking about a big boy.
Yeah. Fast.
Yes, and fast. And will run at you.
Mm-hmm.
I think we'll know the first quarter what Saquon Barkley is going to be able to do. Don't you guys think? I mean, the first quarter,
I agree with that and disagree with that. I think
me too.
It'd be a great, far as it's like setting the tone.
Yeah.
But I think it's to Coach Lee's point. When you talk about deep playoff runs, which obviously they're in, running backs tend to get better
as they go.
That level of running back, particularly like in a February game where everybody's tired, everybody's beat up at this point.
Yeah.
And
I could see them maybe even at a 50-50 run pass, maybe somewhere early in the first
quarter.
They're
going to have to be that all game.
But then I'm looking at them.
Philly's concerned.
Yeah, as Philly's concerned, I'm looking at them getting somewhere over into maybe a 70-30 run.
Yeah.
If they get up 7-0, now we're going to run the ball.
If Philly can get a 70-30 pass run to pass ratio, and they're successful in moving the ball, they're winning that game.
Yes.
I don't know because Mahomes can score really, really quick and from a lot of different angles. So you cannot afford. I mean, I don't think they can afford to get down, nothing. If you get down, let's say 14, 17 points, it's going to be a long climb home.
Okay, to your point. Okay, so let's say the Chiefs up 7 or 10-0 to the Eagles. Can the Eagles come back?
I think they can come back from there. We're talking about a 2-score game, because I think, again, what the Eagles have been able to prove that they can do, they can score quick too with Saquon Barkley, right? And Jalen Hurts. They make them big runs. They make them 60, 50-yard runs.
Yes.
You know, but again, if you're talking 3 scores, because I think what happens if you're down at 3 scores, it sort of changes in the offensive coordinator's mind how he's calling plays, and it creates a sense of urgency where you actually might start to get away from your game plan and start to try to push the ball downfield instead of playing to your strengths. So again, if you find yourself being impatient, that really is going to hurt a team like Philly.
Yeah, I think you're right, and also it's going to come down to coaching. I mean, you've got 2, really good head coaches out there going at it. And, it's going to depend on who's the most creative and who has the most strategic play calling. I mean, Sirianni is a good coach, but he's kind of fairly predictable. I mean, what the offense is pretty much going to do. But I'm telling you, Andy Reid and Mahomes, you just don't know what they've got in their pocket. So,
but I think I agree 100%. But what I will say is, I think this game may look like an old school football game.
I hope so.
More so than any other game. Because Philly, even if they can substitute backs and still run the football. They got 2 backs. So they're set up to rest one and go again. So they're not saying we take him out, we got to start throwing the ball. So now you can't. You have to defend the run if you're going to beat Philly.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting.
It really will be. So, all right.
All right, guys. I'll
see you.
All
right,
you take care. Be safe.
All right, Coach.
See you guys next week.
So, see you. So I want to ask you about, obviously we had the Pro Bowl this past weekend. You are a 3-time Pro Bowler. What are just some of your highlights of your Pro Bowl days? What are some things that come to mind as you were playing in the game? And I think was it 87, 88, and 89?
Yes.
You made 3 consecutive, correct?
Yes.
Okay, so what are some of your highlights? What are some of the things you remember about that time?
When people have asked me, like, what, which one was your favorite or whatever, just that first one. Just the reality of that first one. And you don't get, it doesn't become a norm second and third year. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't become norm. You're still excited. But being on that first one and being a starter in each one of them.
Okay.
That to me was special.
And at that time, you're in, it's the Pro Bowl's in Hawaii.
Yes.
So was this your first time? That first one, was that your first time going to Hawaii?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So not only do you get to play in the Pro Bowl, you're all in Hawaii team, but you're in Hawaii as well. And
I got all kinds of family there with me.
Okay.
I got family. Everybody, basically almost everybody came.
Okay.
And again. And I think the winner got 10,000 in the.
That's it.
Yes, that's it's totally different now.
Yeah.
And then the team that lost, I think, got 5,000. So for me, I was willing to forego my 10 to make sure as many people who wanted to come was going to come, and I'll pay that back on if we win, because I either got 10 or 5.
Yeah.
But man, it was just amazing just to see it, just to be able to get out into town, just walking around. I mean, it was phenomenal. But then the craziest thing is, like, you're playing, like, everybody, you line up, and fortunately to be a starter in each one of them, you start looking across the line, and everybody's a name that you know.
Yeah.
You look at the linebackers. You got LT. You got like everybody. You got Ronnie Lott.
So for that first one, who was the name? So you played with LT. Who else?
There was Ronnie Lott.
So Ronnie Lott was your safety.
Yes.
And LT your backer.
Yes. Yes. Chris Dolman.
Okay.
Reggie White.
Wow.
Matter of fact, I have Reggie White's helmet at home, we swapped helmets because what they do is everybody swapped helmets at the Pro Bowl to try to get everybody's helmet.
Now, was that strategic? You beeline to Reggie White, or you just happened to be near him?
Trust me, he ain't come to me and say, I want your No, actually, it just kind of happened, really. Mm-hmm. He was looking, and I was, everybody was trying to hang out, and he was like, you want to swap? Let me think about that. Yeah, I think I do, know. And that kind of stuff is just unbelievable. Like, you can't, but I'm starting on I think I was the left side corner. And bro, I'm looking down the line bro, that's Reggie White. I'm looking at the linebacker on the same side, and it's LT. I'm looking at the safety, and it's Ronnie Lott. I'm like thinking, bro, I can tell you the game plan for the AFC is go at 39. Because everybody, I think I would almost make the case that maybe everybody that started on, and I don't remember everybody's name, but I'm going to say almost everybody on that team, that first starting team, was a Hall of Fame player.
I mean, because when you look at the 80s during that era, I mean, we had teams like the 49ers, the Giants. They sort of ran the 80s.
Yes.
Those were the teams. Yes. So, it was really about the NFC during the 80s.
It really was. And again, and I don't even know. I want to say, and I could be totally wrong. So if somebody looks this up and says Carl was lying on the show, but I don't think I lost in those 3 years, I think we won. Okay. All three of my favorite.
Now, how competitive were those games? Is it something like where y'all blasé-faire? Everybody, had a couple drinks the night before?
It's casual until you get, like, it's everybody wants to play well, and everybody's playing hard. But, people are talking to you. They're laughing they're laughing with you. And that was Sterling's first. I think that was Sterling's rookie season, and he made the Pro Bowl, which is where me and him kind of got together and became friends. It's competitive game, but once you get down to the fourth quarter,
that's when
the difference between the 10 and the 5. If that game is close still, bro, you trying to get the 10. You don't want the 5. You didn't want the 5.
Mm-hmm.
But and again, even though like you could sense the temperature climbing toward the end of the game, you just can't you just can't look anywhere. There's nobody that's going to come out on my side as a receiver who's not great.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? And bro, I'm like I said, I'm sitting there thinking, man, they got to be throwing at me. Because
so this was a conscious thought.
Yes, because I'm like thinking it's my first Pro Bowl. Maybe they don't buy it. Darryl Green's on the other side.
Oh, okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
So, I mean, think about it. And on the other side, on the AFC, you had both of the Chiefs corners, which are both of them were Pro Bowl, all-pro guys, two on the same team. And, bro, they on the other side.
But let's go to your defensive backfield one sec, because you just said something. So you had Darryl Green at the corners. You had
Joey Browner. Joey Browner was also in the Pro Bowl.
Okay, but who was your strong safety? Because Ronnie Lott was free.
Ronnie was free, and Joey was strong.
Joey was strong.
Yes.
Who was your Mike backer would have been Singletary, right?
Yes.
So you had Singletary at one backer. You had probably Lawrence Taylor at the strong. Who was the weak side? I'm trying to think who that would have been. I mean, it's a plethora of guys that you probably throw in there.
Yes.
You had Chris Doman and Reggie White.
Yeah, Chris Doman, Reggie White. I mean, come on. Just those two. Those were the sock masters of that era.
It's wild. So when we think about, again, and I've heard Kobe Bryant, he said something about the NBA, like All-Star game, and it's not competitive anymore. Obviously, he said this before he passed away. So what are your thoughts just kind of on the iteration of it now, where again we've always had like the Pro Bowl games as far as the competitions, the races, who can throw the farthest. I think those are fun, but now it's devolved into what now is like a flag football game. So what are your thoughts, just going what it was and what it is now?
I can understand why you don't want to play a game. I understand that. And I'm not even talking about the players, but I'm just talking about from a safety perspective.
Yeah.
You got the best players in the league and they're out there playing. They don't want to play hard because they don't want to risk getting an injury. So then that game looks bad. So now the league is like, okay, let's try to figure out something else. But the worst thing, I don't buy into any of it. I don't like any of it.
Yo, what far as what?
Like I don't like the flag. I don't like the games because again, it's okay. So if it's me and Darryl Green going to be running in, for something, I don't care. Even if I were to beat him, what am I get like that? That's not going to be enough for me to think I am the best player in the league, or I'm the best corner or whatever. What I would prefer, if you don't want to play flag, if flag should not be the case, I would rather you just say this: list the All-Pro players.
Just list them.
Just list them, and if you're not going to play a game, don't play.
So just do that.
Yeah, it's kind of like All-State,
Oh, okay, I see what you're saying.
Make it just like that, and you could make it, because there's All-Pro and then there's still the Pro Bowl, and those two things don't necessarily have to be the same. So I would just make it all NFL teams, AFC, NFC, and you list them, and you list them, and there is no game. Now, if you want to do an actual All-Star game, then you got to pick those players, and you have to have them play football. Now, I think, did you say this to me or somebody said it? If anything, what I would be okay with would be is them, like, let's say that you took NBA All-Stars, NFL All-Stars, and had some kind of competition there. I would be okay with that.
When would you do that, though? Well, I mean, I think timing would probably be an issue. I mean, that's an interesting idea. It's definitely,
and it's not mine, but somebody's. Yeah. I was having this conversation with somebody. I can't remember who it was, and when they brought it up, I was like, because you could even now, if you play flag football with NFL All Stars, NBA All Stars,
the NBA All Stars,
yes, and then you go to the court because
they play basketball.
Every football player thinks they can play basketball.
That's actually not a bad idea.
That would make sense to me. I play on your court, you play on my field.
Yeah, that's not a bad idea.
And then, and again, we're playing flag for the football. I would be okay with that because I'll make the case that the NBA, there's going to be some NBA players, man, that's going to be able to play.
Yeah, I mean, that's actually not a bad idea. Yeah, because I mean, I guess because I know the NBA All-Star is coming up, so you could actually just wait till
they can make that work. They can make that work.
And then you could play during the NBA All-Star break.
Yeah.
And then you could have it like that. That actually would be kind of fun.
I would think people would love watching it.
Do like a cross promotion between the two leagues.
And you're going to have all kinds of talking into that, which would make it even cooler. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're going to talk smack.
Yeah.
And when you get on my field, when you're in the football field, so now I'm talking all this. We get on the basketball. Bro, you talking all this. You remember all that you was talking? Let me see what you can do now. I think that would be the way to go.
I'm with you on that. I really am.
That might be the first time you're with me on something.
I'm with you on that one. I think that would be fun. Yeah, because I think it's better than what we've seen from both, leagues.
Yeah,
because none of the All-Star games are really, even if you look at the NBA, you look at it's fun kind of when they pair it with the WNBA players, but if you look like the slam dunk contest, even a 3-point contest is and the game is So yeah, that would be fun.
All right, well, we just got our nod to get out of here. So, Hollis, I appreciate you getting here, and we will be back next week, everyone. Thank you for listening.
Let's Talk with Carl Lee is proudly presented by attorney Frank Walker. Visit frankwalkerlaw.com. Share your thoughts, ask questions, or suggest topics on our Facebook page. Just search for Let's Talk with Carl Lee. And don't forget to like the page to join the conversation. Catch past episodes anytime at WCHSnetwork.com/Let's Talk. And tune in Thursday nights at 7 or Sunday evenings at 8 for Let's Talk with Carl Lee.
If you fall, dust it off and get back up on your feet. Anything could be a win, yup, even defeat. They say sugar bad for you, why is victory sweet? Couldn't play with big kids, I had to sit in the street and watch from a distance, but over time I grew. If I put in the work, in no time I'm due. Everything that I worked and prayed, I'm okay. If you ask me, how did I do it, I'm gon' say, you gotta work, grind, shine, it's mine. Gotta show everybody it's my time. Getting here, you gotta work, grind, shine, never mind who talking down.
Keep tabs on the legislators elected to represent you during the 2025 legislative session. Tune in to Dave and TJ on Talkline as we're live 5 days a week from the Capitol Rotunda. Our state capitol correspondent Bride McElhaney will bring you blow-by-blow coverage straight from the heart of the action. And stay up to date with our twice daily Capitol reports, breaking news and daily outlooks on the morning news. It's the most comprehensive coverage of the legislative session from your voice of West Virginia and its capital city, 580 WCHS.